Welcome to Favorite Books. Today I have the pleasure of speaking with Dennis Mallen. Dennis is an actor of many commercials and movies and is the lead actor in the features Killer Miller, Great People, very famous Great People, Daddy, We Are Back, and The Italians. So, Dennis, welcome to Favorite Books.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Lucinda. It's great seeing you again, and I appreciate your time today.
Yes, it's my pleasure, and I'm looking forward to knowing about your favorite books. But
Sure.
before we start, I would like to learn more about you and your background.
Okay. Well, I'm 53 years old. I've been acting, producing for 25 plus years. Uh, Born and raised in New Jersey, Kearny, New Jersey, Hudson County, New Jersey, and very blue collar background. My father worked for the same firm pretty much his entire adult life. My mother was the entrepreneur of the family. And I was just a happy-go-lucky straight C student. I dabbled in sports, was okay at it. I played ice hockey, I played hockey, I played everything across the board and just enjoyed what I could, happy-go-lucky, didn't work too hard in school. Went to culinary school, got a degree, went to university, went to technology school. Just really I've had a really good journey with the acting. I've been fortunate enough to go from project to project to project. Just did a Super Bowl commercial here in the States, which I did that with Miss Serena Williams, which I'm very happy about. It's up on YouTube right now. Outside of that, just been really busy. I'm blessed with two kids. My son's 23, my daughter's 17. We all reside down here in Florida. And just have some travel coming up. And 23's been a great year so far. I know it's only going to get better. And
Mm.
I've just, I'm fortunate enough. I coach a few new actors, and I just have a great sphere of influence. I been very blessed to work with a lot of great people, and here we are. It's a culmination of hard work. It's a culmination of blessings, luck, building relationships. And here we are. And I'm so glad to be on with you today.
Thank you. And I want to say congratulations for all this
My pleasure.
great. Yeah, you're doing so great. And I'm so happy to have you back. And
Thank you.
also, Dennis, you are playing the Madoff role in Great
Mhm.
People. Can you tell us
Yes.
a little bit about this character? We know a lot about this
Yep.
character, but I want to know the Dennis being made of.
So I've got a great testimony to getting cast in this. I was the last person to be cast, and I was cast in a lead role, Madoff. And I was at an audition at Heather Hines' office, great casting director over here in Orlando, Florida. And whenever you go to different castings, it's like homecoming. You see a lot of your friends, et cetera, et cetera. So I saw two of my good friends, Austin Janowski and Essex O'Brien. Now you're there to work, you're there for an audition, but they look at me and they're like, "We have a role for you." And I'm like, "Okay." They go, Madoff, Madoff. I'm like, "What? Isn't he dead? Is he in jail?" I don't know. Madoff, not even having a clue. Walked away. I got a call 2 days later. I'm at a coffee shop with a friend of mine, and I pick up the phone. It's Romello Blade. He's the writer, director, producer of Great People. Hello, Dennis, Romello Blade. Love to have you as one of my lead actors, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I said, terrific. Send me the script. I'd love to read the script and let me get back to you. He goes, the script is sitting in your inbox, but I need you on set tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. And I'm thinking, my process is you audition, you get a call back, you read the script, you go into contract, and you memorize the script. I had no time to memorize the script. I get the script, I get the offer Thursday night. I've got to be on set Friday morning. So coming in, I wasn't able to really develop the character the way I wanted to develop it. I quickly understood the frame of what I was supposed to be. And I really think we were able to achieve it. There's just a critique of the movie from an Australian newspaper. It's up on Rotten Tomatoes, and it literally says Dennis Mallen, the sleazy businessman depicting Madoff. And it's funny because I achieved what Romello, the writer, set out to do. I'm a sleazy businessman. Okay, so I guess I hit the character. So it was a lot of fun, and I gave Romello a lot of kudos because he's patient with me. His direction was top tier, top notch, and it was really written well. So it was able to flow, and I was able to really delve into the character pretty big, pretty big. So it was a fun shoot.
And you had no time to get prepared to this episode, like to this character. You just went there and
Yeah, it's you're baptized by fire. There are many times in my life, and I'm sure in your life and whatnot. I call them the suddenlies. And what I mean by that, something just falls in your lap. Just God, it's a God moment. It's a suddenly, it falls in your lap, and you have a nanosecond to say yay or nay. I was fortunate enough. Of course, I said yes, and the rest is history. Now, I don't know if this is going to be my Oscar award-winning performance or where this is going to go, but I'm really proud of it. I'm proud of it. The cast and crew are proud of it, and we shall see. We shall see. Rumor has it we might have great people too in the works. I don't know. I am available if they want to cast me for number two, but we shall see. We shall see.
yes, hopefully. And where can we watch this movie? Where is it available,
Well,
Dennis?
Great People has been out, I guess, about a month now. It's on various platforms worldwide. One of the biggest platforms that I've seen on is Plex, Plex.tv. And you can either type in my name, Dennis Mallen, Mallen, or Great People, Grey people. But I think we're close to about 100,000 views, and it's got to be close to a month now. And here we are. But Romello Blade, I know it's available in Brazil. I believe it's available in Europe. I don't know the networks that it's on, but he's just bringing it global. He's really taking it global. So it's exciting. It's exciting. A lot of people get to see me apparently in Australia. My name was in the article. So that's always great. How many millions of people read the newspaper? I have no idea, but now they know my name. And that's just exciting. It's just really exciting. You just never know what's going to happen and what opportunity is going to open up.
Yes. And being positive is that is the best thing ever. And I was reading about your favorite books. Actually, I know that you are a book junkie. Am I
I
correct?
am. I am. And if I mean I track all the books that I read. I'm in my office. I've got a bunch of autograph books, my autograph book collection. I'm very eclectic with
Mm.
my taste. I'm very eclectic. I'll read from personal development books to sci-fi books to just crazy things across the board. But I love to read. I'm a big vocabulary junkie. I'm always trying to incorporate a new word or two in my vernacular every day.
Mhm.
Not because I'm like bougie or trying to show off. I just want to keep growing on level. I want to keep growing as much as I can.
Mhm. I also try to incorporate a new word every day.
That's the way to go. Words are power. Vocabulary is power.
Yeah,
And it's just a matter of keep growing.
exactly. And now, Dennis, can you tell our audience what are your three favorite books? It's difficult to choose, but I need three
Yeah,
and why? Why they are,
sure.
yeah.
When you asked me for that, yeah, I got to tell you, I sent you a quick three books, but then I'm thinking to myself, well, how about this book? How about that book? I enjoy that book. You know, I'm a big sci-fi fan. I'm a big Frank Herbert fan, and I love the book Dune. I love the movie Dune. I love Mr. Villeneuve's interpretation of Dune. I'm waiting for the second movie, which is just wrapped, and it should be out by the end of this year, which is really exciting. And that's just it. Frank Herbert, I read his bio. His son actually wrote his biography, which was interesting. And if you look at Frank Herbert and how he was raised and the years he came up and everything, the guy had a really hard life. He had a really hard life. Him and his wife, they were writers, and they came from parents that were very, I'm not going to say militant, but very strict. Now, Frank, you might as well call him Tom Sawyer because he liked to paddle up and down the river. He liked to go on adventures and so on. Now, he was also a speechwriter for many senators of the day in the 50s, and he also wrote for many different newspapers. So when you look at the body of work, when you look at Dune, you've got politics, you've got religion, you've got socioeconomic issues, you've got every aspect, geopolitical, everything that we experience daily, or everything that goes on from the macro and microcosm. Frank Herbert incorporates in his books. He incorporates in Dune, which I loved. Again, back to Mr. Villeneuve, Dune 1, for lack of a better term, the Dune movie, is not even half of the first book. So I'm excited to see the second movie because it's going to encapsulate the rest of the book. So I've read Dune about 4 times now, and I keep going back to it because, and that's over my lifetime. And I keep going back to it because there's aspects of it that I've missed, or there's aspects of it that I want to read on and kind of research and so on. So Frank Herbert wrote, I believe it's 6 or 7 books called the Dune Chronicles. I've read them all. Now his son Brian has written a bunch of prequels and a bunch of post books. I've read them all too. And Lucinda, it was funny as Mr. Villeneuve was doing Dune 1, every podcast that I was on, they're like, well, what's your next big role? I go, I am in Dune. And they're like, really? I go, I'm not, but I'm putting it out there. But that would have been such a dream role to do anything in that. So I enjoy Frank Herbert for his writing style, for the way he incorporates many, many different characters, different plots, plans within plans, and then they all coalesce together, which is tough to do. If you look at George Martin, Game of Thrones, George R. Martin, he's from New Jersey. He's from the same county, Hudson County, New Jersey, that I'm from. Same thing, Peter Dinklage and Frank Sinatra, all from Hudson County, New Jersey. Mm-hmm. And George R. Martin gets very complicated, and I get a little caught up because he'll take 7 pages and describe a tree. I don't need 7 pages to tell me about a damn tree. And I'm not criticizing anybody. Frank Herbert is a lot more economical with his words, if that makes any sense. And I think I like his brevity. And Rice, I was fortunate enough about my son's 23, 24 years ago to meet Anne Rice and to have her autograph one of my books. Now, again, very colorful, very flowery, very historical, very religious, very empathetic with her characters. And what I always try to do, if I'm watching a movie, if I'm reading a book, if I'm in any situation, I try to adapt it to my acting. How would I bring this character to life? I'm reading about Lestat, and one of the main characters, one of the main antagonists, vampire and whatnot, and good-looking guy, classy guy. He's a vampire. He's evil. He's a killer. Okay, but when you get the Tom Cruise and the Brad Pitt to play it, it kind of romanticizes the entire thing. So, I enjoy that from not a lighter read. It's just as intense. It's a lot more colorful. It's a lot more flowery. It's a lot more romanticism, if that makes sense at all.
Makes a lot of sense. I was so in love for that vampire.
How can you not be in love with Lestat?
Yes.
some days we feel guilty. He makes us feel guilty. Some days we hate him. Some days we fall in love with him. How can you feel guilty? And how can you not love Lestat? And some days he's quite acerbic. We want him to die, and he's very melancholy. So it's just interesting. And you know, I'm fortunate enough to have Lestat actually right here, autographed. It's important to capture, certain aspects of time with people such as that, such luminaries in literature. I'm so glad I was able to meet her and get her autograph.
Said two books, yeah? It's missing one.
I so that there's a book. We're going to take this way back. Napoleon Hill.
Oh,
Now, my sister accuses me of reading self-help books. We all need help. We all need development. If you're the quintessence of life, God bless you. I haven't come across that yet. We all have aspects where we need to grow. So if I'm going to spend some time with personal development, which you're either growing or you're dying, that's how I've always thought. I want to keep growing. A book that I've read way back and a book that I continually read is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Now, the answer is in the title, but it was the original Tony Robbins book. It's the original Ed Milet book. It's the original, you know, name any personal development guru. It all stems from this. Napoleon Hill was contracted by Andrew Carnegie to go interview the titans, the business titans of that time,
Henry
and put
Henry Ford, yeah, was interviewed by him. Even Henry
yeah,
Ford.
Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, Vanderbilt, J.P. Morgan. I'm sure I'm missing plenty of luminaries back in the day. He put together the tome of their philosophy. And when he put it together originally, it was volumes and volumes and volumes. It was voluminous. He had to narrow it down to about a 200-page book and a concise philosophy. Well, I try to read that every year. I try to read that every year. And again, like anything else, I always get a nugget out of it. I just bought it for my son. My son's still in school, um, studying medicine, radiology, and whatnot. And he's at a point where you need to learn the ways of the world and what you need to do to either fall into the fall into the trap, okay, or rise above it. That book helps you and gives you the philosophies to rise above it, if that make it, to understand what it's all about. What is life all about? What are we looking to achieve? And why are we here? So I try to go over the book at least once a year. I redo my goals and everything kind of December. My year, from my perspective, starts in December. I don't know why, but everything kind of slows down and I've got downtime. And that's when I just redo my goals and start reading different books and stuff like that. But Think and Grow Rich, I mean, regardless of what business you're in, regardless of what you do, even if you just have a job, there's nothing wrong with reading this book. uh you know yeah, it's a personal development book, but wouldn't you want to know the philosophy of JP Morgan Chase? Wouldn't you want to know the philosophy of Andrew Carnegie? Wouldn't you want to know the philosophy of Elon Musk? People that have been there and done that and have made, tremendous amount of money. It's not all about the money, it's about giving back and helping your fellow person. And they've all done that. So it's always a misnomer, right? Money's the root of all evil. Well, no, not really. Money builds hospitals. Money feeds children, feeds the poor. It's a matter. It's your heart. Where does your heart lie? And that's what it comes down to. If you have nefarious thoughts, well, you're not going to achieve. But if you have a giving heart and you want to do good time and time and time again, you're going to get blessings tenfold. And from a universal perspective, let's take it out of from a universal perspective, it's a matter of keeping things flowing, keeping your finances flowing, keeping your thought process flowing, and going from there. From a Christian perspective, we're here to be the light, the salt, right? And to really help people move forward. Well, if I'm a good steward of what I'm being blessed with, either through my art, either through my finances, I want to do good. I tell you all this because there's many lessons and more that I really got out of the book. And again, I first read this book, it's got to be 20 plus years ago, 20 plus years ago. And a lot of people that I follow, mentors of mine, always quote the book. So, now here's the thing, I don't get paid a dime from any of these books, right? But, maybe I should. Maybe we should send this to them and, hey, if
I
sales spike, well,
yeah,
you and I will split commission. How about that?
and we can get a lot of advice from this book that was written in 1939.
Yeah,
What nowadays we can, as you said, you read this book every year and you still find
I,
something to use.
yeah,
Dennis, where can our audience find you online and your
sure.
shows? Can you tell us?
Well, I'm very happy to say that my good friend Rob Kahn is starting to put up my website.
Okay.
My website, www.dennismallen.com. DENNISMALLEN.com. Now, all of my social media is up there, and he just opened it up today. So I know it's a work of art. So I want to start sending everybody over there, and you can get all my contact, all my social media off of that. And if I can help anybody, Lucinda, with anything at all, please find me. Please reach out. Please reach out. I love doing shows like yours, and whatever works. Whatever I can help people with.
Awesome. So, Dennis, it was a pleasure to talk with you again.
Thank you, Lucinda. I appreciate your time. Thank you.